PTF and JK back with you. Hello, whether you're watching on the streaming version of this show happening day of on Santa Anita Gulfstream In the Money channels, or you're checking us out on the Santa Anita Gulfstream YouTube or the In the Money Media YouTube, please subscribe to all those places because there's a lot of great racing content you're only going to get there. You know what I haven't done on the first two of these is call for comments. I want to know, who do you like? Who's your single? Do you have a single in the Sunset 6 sequence? If you're totally new around here, you might even be saying to yourself, what's the Sunset 6? I had a sharp player ask me that yesterday, and the answer is it's a new wager you want to get involved in. Last 3 races at Gulfstream, last 3 races at Santa Anita. $1 minimum, 15% takeout, no consos, so you're going to pay, it's going to pay better if you hit it, and there's a carryover provision as well. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on those. Might have some special content along the way if we get some carryovers. We're going to dive into these races right now. Starts off with race number 8 at Gulfstream on Sunday, 4:35 Eastern, the scheduled post time for this starter allowance, 25,000 going 7 on the main track. JK, what do you want to do to get this thing started right?
Yeah, sometimes starter allowance races, I think, can be some of the most formful, right? Because like they qualify for the condition when they were one animal, then they turn into a different one. The 2 Blast Radius, I think, is one of those horses that it seems to be going in the right direction, seems to be doing really well, has some back races for some other trainers that make the current numbers at least trustworthy and believable. The 4 Lucky Old Sun, ton of early speed. I thought this horse ran extremely well last time and really just got it figured out. It's funny. Horse debuted for 35, 25, 25, finally wins, and then starts running big numbers. Don't necessarily trust it. That's why I can't single here. But if they can duplicate that last performance, they should be really tough. And then the outside, El Gutty, I'm guessing what we're going to go with towards the outside.
I'll accept
another one who's got a big number last time, but it was on a sloppy racetrack. So another one where I don't necessarily trust. I do trust that one of these 3 horses likely shows up and runs well, the 2, 4, or the 7. I'll use the 5 as a B.
Our top ones are the same, and then our backups are a little bit different. I did have Lucky Old Sun on top. Looks to be much improved. Looks the best speed. Blast Radius would be the other candidate to be the best speed. Has probably benefited from some speed favoring tracks, according to Timeform US, but still one I wanted to keep in the mix. 2 others that I'll mention that you did not. The 3 more backups for me, though. The 3 Raging Fury, in behind the second pick last time, but was against that track profile that was favoring speedrunners, and I thought could possibly be the best closer. And then the 6 Neshume, similar to Raging Fury, against the profile potentially in Lucky Old Sun's last race. 4 and 2 on the main line, 3 and 6 on the backup line for me as we move to race number 9 at Gulfstream on Saturday. 5 furlong, the Flying 5, an allowance race on the turf. JK, we'll keep it with you.
Yeah, it's another spready one for me. The 1 Vindicate Cha-Cha, speed on the inside. You know, I love my turf sprinters to be forward. The 5 Super Freaky Girl, another one who disappointed in her last 2 races, but her races back when she was a 3-year-old, her last 2 races were really good. I'm really hopeful that maybe they've worked something out with this filly to get her back to some of those races. The 8 Royally Blue, another one that I just wanted to have in the mix. Don't necessarily love or trust, but she's in the mix from a figure standpoint. And then the 11, what was this? Lila Bella Girl, another one who has some speed outside. I love outside speed and turf sprints. And then I'll use Love Actually, the 4, as a backup, as a B horse. Has a big number, but there's only one number, and I don't necessarily trust it.
Probably Layla, I'm going to go with as the name of that
Layla?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not spelled the Derek and the Dominoes way, but I still think that's which way we're going to go. Your top 3 are the same as my top 3. Vindicate Cha-Cha, best speed horse going the Flying 5, sign me up. 8 Royally Blue. My angle there was just looked significantly better on turf. It's hard to close from this far back when it's this sharp, but the horse did it last time. And then Super Freaky Girl has the tactical speed to be in touch, get the right kind of trip. 3rd time off the layoff. Good course and distance success. I'm a little bit scared. Carlos David has been ice cold, but maybe I can wake him up by noting that. The old commentator's curse on our side here, maybe in this 9th at Gulfstream. 1, 8, and 5 for me. 1, 5, 8, 11 with the 4 as a backup for JK. We'll get to the 3rd and final race we're going to be talking about at Gulfstream Park before we get to our dinner break before the Santa Anita portion of the card. maiden claimers, $12,000 level on the synthetic. I'll go first here because why not? Alabama Sleeper, the 2-runner. The dam was precocious enough, didn't win, but was precocious enough to run 4.5 at Keeneland in April. The lone sibling did win first out. Bucaro, 16% first out overall and first time. Very impressive 3-surface sire. We talked about a lot this summer when he and his partnership that stand him were sponsoring some of our content over at inthemoneypodcast.com, where you can find all manner of great free content, including, I should point out, we have write-ups of the coast-to-coast bet every day that connects Gulfstream and Santa Anita Racing. So make sure you check out inthemoneypodcast.com. Anyway, Alabama Sleeper, the right kind of pedigree. I want this horse on tickets. The 4 Adios Mate, comparatively unexposed to the rest of this field. The best figures are 53. The par for this kind of race is 64, but none have run the par. And maybe this horse has the upside to get there. And you can see how it can happen, right? This horse just needs to get away from there cleanly, could easily improve the 10 points needed. G Speedy, another I wanted to mention, has the high figure of this bunch at 63. And that was a race where the horse was going faster in the middle part of the race. So maybe fast enough sprinting. The 2 turf figs are the best numbers, and the horse has never sprinted on this surface. G Speedy could easily improve in this spot. I liked it 2, 4, and 9. Where are you to close out the Florida piece of this?
Yeah, I'm going to use the 2-9 as A's. The 2's got like 12 works on the synthetic at Gulfstream, so should be familiar with that surface. The 9, G Speedy, the last 2 races, I thought, from figure standpoint, it puts this one right in the mix. But the other thing about this horse is the last 2 races, while it's starting to look like a horse that doesn't necessarily want to win, the prices that this horse has been suggest that it hasn't won because it's probably in a little bit tougher, some tougher spots. 8-1 in his last 2 starts while running well. If he can run well those same races and be 4-1, 3-1 here, I think he could win. And I'll use the 1 a little bit sideways as a B type for that race on debut back in 2024 for David Fox. Hasn't run great since then, but somewhere in there's that race.
That's a tremendous name, isn't it? Little bit sideways. How often at the racetrack do things go a little bit sideways for us? Hopefully this little bit sideways will be a good thing if we throw this one in on our tickets to close out things at Gulf before we head out to Santa Anita for the final 3 races of the weekend for most of us. Race 8, 9, and 10. A couple of graded stakes at Santa Anita you're going to want to pay attention to. Grade 2 Senata goes as race number 7. That is not one of the ones we'll be talking about on the show. We'll kick on with race number 8 at 7:30 Eastern. Just one more reminder. This one also kicks off the late pick 3 with the $3 minimum and the 15% takeout. And then, of course, race 9, where the graded stakes action will return in that Santa Anita Sprint Championship, $5 late double with the low takeout. We really encourage you to get involved. Support these great wagers our friends at Gulfstream and Santa Anita and First are putting together. Best way to ensure that we're going to get more of them and that these are going to continue. We've seen the terrific effect we've had on the late pools at Santa Anita with this pick 3 and double. Let's hope that continues with the Sunset 6. Back to race number 8. State bred fillies, optional claimers, first level allowance. How are we going to kick things off out at Santa as far as the back end of this Sunset 6 goes?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 closers and 2 speed horses. The 1 and the 11 are the 2 closers that I like. I just don't necessarily trust them enough. The 1, Waltz Across Texas, will be my top choice. Drawn inside, turf sprinter stretching out. We've talked about that in these last couple episodes. Should get cover. I like that quite a bit. The 3 and the 7 project to be a little bit more forward. Could work out better trips than what the 1 and the 11 are projected to get. Give me the 2 best speeds, the 2 best closers. I feel like I can lock this race up 1, 3, 7, and 11.
And that all as A's, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you on the speedy types. Those were the ones that I landed on. Lavender Love, the 7, I thought moved into a fast pace last time. And I was thinking a little bit better timing, stalk and pounce kind of trip could work. But the horse has options. If nobody wants to go, this horse also might be fast enough to make the top. Baltus, very hot right now as well. Trainer, I don't mind keeping on side. Princess del Tigre, the 3, also has the speed to be involved from the outset. 3rd time off the layoff and has just the overall form and figures to compete with this group. The closer that I wanted to mention, was the 10, Quantum Energy. I thought it looked like the best one of these late in terms of sectionals. And there is a scenario where, as JK pointed out too, this race could boil over. I do hesitate with Quantum Energy a little bit between the draw and the fact that this one's had good setups the last two and hasn't cracked the exacta. But I saw it 7, 3, and 10. I'm going to take another look at JK's closers as well. But interesting way to kick off that late pick 3 at Santa Anita. Hopefully we're going to be alive and looking at ways of topping up our bets as we get to this late double alive in the Sunset 6. We've got the Grade 2 Santa Anita Sprint Championship Stakes, and one name sort of stands above the best here, JK. That's Straight No Chaser, Breeders' Cup Sprint champion, last seen in Maidan over in Dubai. Didn't work out so well there, but this one been working steadily for the return. Are you with or against Straight No Chaser?
Yeah, I'm with. I mean, Dan Blacker's got he's got an idea of what works for this horse. It's very simple. Leading up till September 29th, the same weekend, same race last year, he came in off a 141-day break. He ran in this race. He won. He comes back and he wins the Breeders' Cup Sprint. He comes into this race with a 176-day break off of his performance at Maidan. He shows up. He wins this race. He goes on to the Breeders' Cup Sprint again. Same exact plan. I would imagine that Dan followed very similar preparation plans to have him ready to go. I think he'll be ready. I'm going to ice cold single the 2 Straight No Chaser.
Yeah, we're in lockstep here. Best speed, best overall form. I think looks ready to bounce back. Let's see what happens with Straight No Chaser, but I'm willing to put my Sunset 6 life on the line with him. Won't mean anything, though, unless we can hit this last race. We've got a first-level allowance with an optional claiming stipulation at the $100,000 level. We're going a mile on the turf. When it comes to this final, third and final, Sunset 6 of this weekend, Jonathan, how are we going to get paid?
Yeah, I got to use 4 in here. The 2, 3, and the 4 I'm going to use for sure. These are horses that I think that they've all got some red fractions in their time form US that suggest that their closing might not be as good as it looks on paper, but still, nonetheless, they definitely will run down a horse that's running along on the front end. The horse that I want on is my top choice, but I'll also use as an A is the 8 Ribbons, a horse that runs red fractions, but he's one of those horses that can run red fractions and see it out. When I say red fractions, I mean on time form US, coded as red, meaning the race was fast. If it's coded as blue, it means the race was slow in terms of the pace figures. I think Ribbons is going to be aggressive. And if Ribbons is aggressive, I think Ribbons can still win. However, if she gets a little tired late, I think she could set it up perfectly for the other 3 horses that I think are going to come from off of it. 2, 3, 4, 8 to wrap up a weekend of 18 races in this Sunset 6. Good luck.
It's going to be fun. We end in agreement. I really like Ribbons. Best speed here. Should be able to seize control of things early. My question for you about Ribbons, you mentioned about the red time form US fraction, so we'll go down the rabbit hole here a little bit. Last time did not have those red fractions and didn't run as well. Is this the kind of horse that you want to see handled aggressively? Did she maybe actually go a little bit too slow last time? She's less about quickening mid-race and more about just using speed from the outside. Is that how you see it with her?
Yeah, I mean, maybe she's just better going faster. We've seen that from a lot of different horses. So, but she also has red fractions too back where she ran third. Right. The good news is her last 3 races, she's either winning or losing by less than a length. And that means that she shows up, she runs every time. And that gives me some confidence.
I was just going to back up with one here. Actually, not even back up. Co-A with one here. The 4, Take a Breath, who you also mentioned. That was a big run in the Del Mar Oaks to lose by less than 2. Looking at her sectionals, could be more under the hood with this one. And another one who, if she can simply break better, the room for improvement, it's very easy to see the blue sky with Take a Breath. 8 and 4 for me to close it out and to close out this weekend. Reminder, we've got loads of coverage of Santa Anita. Go to inthemoneypodcast.com. Dean Kepler covers for us every day. We're also going to have Nick Tamro covering the coast-to-coast bet with racing between Gulfstream and Santa Anita. I'd like to thank all our friends at First, Santa Anita, and Gulfstream for sponsoring this content, especially our man, Peter Rotundo Jr., been such a big supporter of ours since day one. Aiden Butler as well. Really appreciate the support of people like them and viewers like you and listeners like you. Keep it locked to the In the Money Media various channels, YouTube, podcast, and website. There's going to be a lot more. Thanks to our friends at First one more time, and may you win all your photos.